Hey guys, welcome back. So today I want to talk about the Sig SB15 Brace and similar products. Century Arms also has one, and there's several other companies that are bringing them to market as well. Just before SHOT Show 2015, the ATF issued an opinion letter, which is just an opinion. They issued this opinion letter saying that the Sig Brace was no longer legal to be shouldered. You could fire it from the cheek, you could fire it from underneath your arm, you could fire it as a pistol with one hand or two, but the minute you touched that Sig Brace to your shoulder, this opinion letter said that you became a felon. By doing that, you've created an SBR. By the act of how you fired the firearm, you've remanufactured it, at least momentarily, and were in possession of an illegal SBR or short-barreled rifle, which is governed under the National Firearms Act, and you must pay a $200 tax to do that, to manufacture such a firearm. So what I want to talk about is how it all led up to that and whether or not it is still legal to own one of these braces. Let's talk about that first. I'm holding a letter here that was sent out today from SIG last week that was basically just says that the ATF has not ruled that these braces are illegal, that it's still legal to buy them and install them on handguns. Okay, so there's been a lot of, and they specifically mentioned social media in this letter, there's been a lot of folks within social media saying that this opinion letter has made owning the Sig Brace illegal, or installing it on a pistol like you see here on the CZ Scorpion pistol, that it makes it illegal, and that is not true. You can still buy these, you can still install them on pistols, you can still shoot them as they were intended, which is wrapping it around your arm. You can shoot it from under the arm. You can even use it as a cheek brace and put it up against your cheek. The ATF has specifically said that's okay. But as long as it does not come into contact with your shoulder, you're not remanufacturing the firearm or changing the classification from a pistol to a short-barreled rifle. So it is legal to still buy and use these devices. Now I want to show you something else. I want to talk a little bit about how ridiculous this new letter is from the ATF saying that it is now illegal to shoulder a Sig Brace, that by putting it in your shoulder, it goes from a handgun to being remanufactured as a rifle, and why it's a dangerous ruling, an opinion. It's not even a law, but this opinion, why it is so dangerous. And let me talk about that as well. Some folks have said that this opinion letter doesn't carry the force of law, and that is a true statement. Now, I'm not an attorney, but I do want to, it is my opinion that the opinion letter is nothing more than an opinion. It is not a law. However, it doesn't stop there. If I get arrested by a local police department, the ATF isn't the people primarily going around arresting people for NFA violations. It's usually your local police. If I go out and get arrested for shouldering a brace, I have to go to court, okay? That opinion letter is now in the hands of all the law enforcement across America, and if another Greenwood, Colorado police officer sees you out in the woods shooting your SB15 Brace from the shoulder, they can arrest you, and now you face 10 years in federal prison. Some have said that the ATF has no plans to actually enforce this, much like 922R laws, and that may very well be the case, but that won't be the case if your local law enforcement picks you up because they've read that letter, and now they want to charge you with that NFA violation. So it is dangerous. So that's why I think it's extremely dangerous. And let me show you something else. Watch this next clip, and then we'll have a discussion about what you just seen. All right, so what did you guys just witness? It certainly looked like I was firing this Scorpion pistol from the shoulder, didn't it? Was I firing it from the shoulder? If you were a police officer and you saw me out in the woods shooting that from the same angle, or perhaps you're standing 100 yards off, standing to the right of me shooting, or even behind me shooting, and it looks like it's in my shoulder, am I breaking the law? Well, what you just witnessed is why it is so dangerous, this determination letter. Because what you saw was this being fired from the cheek. The ATF has ruled that the Thorson device, which is very similar to this, minus the little wings that stick down and it doesn't cup your arm, but it's meant to be fired from the cheek. The ATF has said that the Thorson devices are perfectly legal. Firing the Sig Brace from the cheek is perfectly legal. But if I was seen shooting like that from that same angle out in the woods, and you were a police officer in Greenwood, Colorado, and you had that letter from the BATF, would you arrest me? You're an anti-gun cop? Absolutely you would. And then what am I left doing at that point? I have to go to court, defend myself, and I face 10 years in federal prison for that. You can plead with the police officer all you like. You can say, but I never put it in my shoulder. I was firing it from the cheek. It never touched my shoulder. Tell it to the judge, buddy. And when you're making your case to the judge, you're doing it with hanging in the balance your freedom and your rights as an American citizen being lost for the rest of your life, your family being destroyed, and probably being financially destroyed as well. Now, watch the next clip that I show you. You'll actually see what really happened and that I never shouldered this brace. What I'm going to do now is take this SB15 equipped Scorpion pistol. I'm going to fire it from the cheek. You'll see it's not in my shoulder. I'm going to fire it from the cheek, and the ATF has said more than once that using this type of a device or just an extension tube, whatever, and touching it against your cheek as long as it doesn't touch your shoulder doesn't change the classification of the pistol. Now I'm going to shoot this video from two different angles. You're watching on this camera, and we have another camera over here that's actually going to prove that this is not being shouldered when I fire it. Okay, and I'm doing this for a purpose. So let's go ahead and do our little experiment here. All right, never touched my shoulder once, but from where you're watching, it looks like I fired it from the shoulder, and that's where the danger in this determination letter comes from. So that's what actually happened. The SIG brace never touched my shoulder. The ATF has held in an opinion letter issued to Thorson about their cheek saddle that you can fire firearms resting the extension tube, the Thorson device, or even the SIG brace against your cheek, never touching it to your shoulder. But remember, if you touch it to your shoulder, you're now a felon and you've violated the NFA. So that's the danger of this opinion letter, okay? And the other thing is what is the ATF trying to say about this? This whole remanufacturing thing. The ATF has long held that if you fire a handgun with one hand, you're using it as intended. A handgun is intended by the ATF's definition to be fired with one hand. The minute you put that second hand up there, like almost everybody does, that's a two-handed weapon. That's any other weapon. You've just remanufactured it based upon that opinion letter. Are they going to try to enforce that? That's the danger of this opinion, and it can't stand. We have to fight the ATF on this. We have to start writing letters to Congress, to the House, to the Senate, and we have to make our representatives stand up and rein the ATF on this issue. They can't just willy-nilly decide that, you know what, you can remanufacture something simply by the way that you use it. That would be like me driving my car off a cliff and then somehow surviving the ensuing crash and then being charged by the FFA for piloting an airplane without a license. Because while it was in flight, it was technically an airplane because I've misused my car. It's stupid. We have to fight it. Please get active, folks. If you guys have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, you can ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/military arms. I'll put a link down below. Also, please come by Copper Custom, our online store. If you want to support the Military Arms channel, that's the best way to do it. Please come by and check out our store. We got a lot of cool stuff at some really good prices. Again, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon.